Good morning and welcome to Morning Brew. Of course, I was late again. I had to go get my coffee, and prior to going to get my coffee, I was talking to somebody backstage. So, without further ado, here is Mr. CCTV.
Hello, hello, hello.
And how are you this morning, Mr. CCTV?
I'm really, really drunk. I should probably change my avatar. I think I still have the drunken philosopher on here, right?
I'm
Yeah,
sure.
there I am. Ah, look, it's me.
Oh, God. I find it funny how that began with one offhand comment I made.
I know, right? And Yitzy just picked it up and Jedi Bill ran with it. I was like, okay. I guess I'm a philosopher now. I didn't expect myself to be, but okay.
One offhand smartass comment of mine, yes. And well, I would say good morning, but we've already said good morning to each
Yes,
other.
we have. Who's Gelth Walker, by the way?
Gelth Walker is actually a friend of Rosetta's.
Oh, right on. I should know, obviously. I'm the one who's supposed to be doing the legwork for the American Legion and VFW for the pinup girls. Now, mind you, I have not actually done any of the legwork for the VFW or the American Legion for the pinup girls, but I'm supposed to be doing that.
Well, with everything you've got going on, I'm not surprised.
Well, a little bit of life got in the way, I guess.
Or a lot of it alive, yeah. And Gelth, yeah. You first. You bring me the coffee donuts. We'll take turns.
I'll just take wine. Thank you very much.
Go ahead, bring the donuts over here. I'll pick up next time. That's fine.
It is rare that I stay up this late, early. I guess it's
Well,
early. Yeah, right. It's
yeah,
4 o'clock in the morning for me, so 5 o'clock for you.
correct.
Yeah, it's early for me. I generally do not stay up overnight. Even on the insomniac soup, I generally go to bed about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. For me, and so it's unfortunate that Jedi Bill had to take a break, although he's been, on the stream the entire time that I've been hosting the stream. So I don't know how much of a break it is for him, but I guess the stress of hosting a stream is off of him, right?
That would be somewhat accurate, yeah.
But yeah, it's rare that I stay up this early in the morning. By the way, good morning.
Good morning. And let's see here. So, good morning. I don't know what the hell time it is. Probably afternoon for Gelth. Fuck's sake. Uh, yeah, it'd be afternoon. Whatever.
Ish. We'll just go with ish. It's ish time around the world.
It's currently 5 after the hour, whatever the hour it is you're at.
Just FYI, Thursday morning. Yeah, for me, a Thursday morning for me, I had a hearing actually with a legal judge, right, in Arizona, for my disability payment, right? And he swore me in and everything, like he could actually see me raise my right hand. I did actually raise my right hand, but I mean, like he could actually tell that I was raising my right hand, right? It's
Yeah.
not like I was in a courtroom or anything. He couldn't actually tell that I was doing it. But I did. I rose my right hand, but he swore me in, and everything I said was accurate, absolutely accurate, 100%. My lawyer even called me in the afternoon. He was like, I could not ask for a better client. So I was like, awesome. There was a little point there where you were taking care of your mother and your brother, but you actually pulled that off. So I was pretty impressed, and I was like, "Thank you, lawyer." Unfortunately, yeah, that's just one of the situations I'm in, right? So
Yeah.
if I were at home up in the mountains where I belong, instead of down here where it's 78 degrees in the daytime and 60, I guess it got down to 53 right now where I'm at. Yeah, 53 degrees Fahrenheit, everybody. Yeah, it's horrible living in this valley. I guess the wintertime is actually pretty nice here in the valley.
Oh, there have been a few times I've heard some oh well, how do I say this? Uh, Jedi Bill has said something about how cold he was. Then of course he said what the temperature was, and it's like, dude,
You're
that
not
ain't
even
cold.
freezing, man. Are you kidding me? You're not even freezing, man. Give me a break. It's not cold there.
He's like, okay, it's 50 degrees. It's freezing outside. No, 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 it's not. Trust me,
Oh,
it's not.
crap. You know what, Captain Truck? I don't have your YouTube. I can't share that right now. Well, you're live though, so
I'm
yeah, there
live.
you go. Okay, I got it. I got it. Okay, and it is muted, and I am sharing on the Twitter. And oh, look at that! Let me share. Huh? What do you know?
That's one of the reasons I always post my the YouTube link and then the Streamlab link into the private group. That way, number one, people have the link to get in, but number two, they know where they're going first.
Are you doing the Discord all over the place?
I haven't been. I need to.
Oh, okay. Let me go ahead and do that actually. Let me hit the copy the link button and hit up the Discord and see who wants to come in and say hi. Because I'm not sure how long I'm going to be able to stay awake. Because I need to get a couple hours of sleep before I do Acts chapter 9, I think.
That would be
Or
good.
I'll just skip Bible study this morning. I don't really know. I'm tired. I'll probably skip Bible study this morning.
Where'd it go?
I really don't think it would be a good idea if I did Bible study this morning.
Probably not at this stage. I would agree.
Hi, caramba. But we can talk anyway. So it's cool. Yeah, I'm not gonna do. Well, yeah, okay. I was thinking Bible study instead of morning brew, so I wasn't gonna do pimp thy channel. But it's cool, yeah. Since it's morning brew, you can pimp thy channel.
Let's see. When was the last time? Oh.
Good God Almighty! Am
What?
I really the only one doing late night streams? I mean, well, advertising late night streams, I should say.
Yeah.
Holy
It would
cow.
seem that way.
Wild. Okay. It's kind of cool, actually. Being a unique kind of guy. Okay, you're advertised all over all of the Discord that I'm advertised on. We'll see what happens.
Absolutely. Let's see. Yeah.
Is Jedi Bill watching?
I don't know.
We got 5 watching and 1 in the chat. So let's assume Jedi Bill is watching. Jedi
Probably
Bill,
because
take a lesson. Advertise and be nice. Advertise a lot. I mean, God, advertise a lot. For God's sake. Oh, I don't know. I don't know, man. It's been a year. I didn't even know I went over 200 subscribers. You know that, right?
no, I didn't. No, I didn't know you didn't know that. No.
Yeah, I did not know. Jedi Bill told me I went over 200 subscribers. I was like, really? Wow, that's awesome. I really haven't been paying attention. I've had too much life going on. Now, it's not fair to say that. Honestly, I know that the YouTube is life for a lot of people. I get that. I do. I really do. You don't have to deal with personal situations that are going on. You don't have to abandon your child and abandon your house and move into an area that you don't like because the traffic sucks and the weather sucks and all that stuff. You don't have to do that, right? Most people don't have to do that.
Right.
So I understand, YouTube, if it is your life, well, YouTube is your life. Go for it, That's awesome. YouTube is not my life. YouTube is my escape from life. So when I went over 200 subscribers, everybody was congratulating me, and I went, nice. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It was not my goal. My goal is to come onto YouTube and just escape from everything that's going on around me. I'm really glad that I've found a lot of friends, Captain Trek, obviously. Excellent friend. Thank you very much for being here.
You're quite welcome.
Others in the community have been fantastic. Obviously, maybe when Social Security starts paying out, maybe I'll be able to support more channels. But right now, it's like I support 2 channels. That's pretty much the extent of what I'm capable of doing right now.
Quite honestly, and I can honestly speak for most people, more concerned about you taking care of yourself first.
Oh,
Then
fair enough. Yeah.
when you can, if you have enough where you can help others, go for it. Until then, do what you need to do.
Like, I live on disability at this point. I mean, I worked for several years after I left the military, but my disease has got to the point where it's very difficult for me to do anything I mean, I went grocery shopping today. I was gone for 2 hours, and I swear when I got back home, it took me another hour and a half before I could fabricate the pork chops and the chicken portions that I needed for tomorrow's meal. It took so long to be able to do all of what I was able to do back in the day, you know? Like fabricating a chicken, right? So you take all the bones off and you put them in a stock pot and you run the stock and okay, that's simmering on the stove right now. As a matter of fact, I'm hungry as hell because it smells so good. But you've got that simmering on the pot. It used to take me an hour to fabricate, 20 pork chops and a chicken and 14 portions of stew meat or whatever. Used to take me an hour to do that. Now it takes me 3 hours to do a little tiny pork chops and one chicken. It took me 3 hours today to do that. I was so upset.
Oh, I wouldn't be. Because there are people that couldn't do it no matter what amount of time you gave them.
Fair enough. Yeah. Well, the fact that I know how to do it is a plus in that category. But yeah, there are people who literally cannot stand at a kitchen counter and do it for an hour.
Yeah, so I was meaning just the physical part of it, not even the knowledge. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that. And I'm unfortunately getting to that point. Watching I know this is not a pain stream, so if you want to keep it light and funny and all that stuff, it's cool.
Let's put it this way. This has kind of gotten to be like you don't know what you're going to get. Yeah, honestly, from morning to morning, it's a crapshoot.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. I moved down here in November when my brother had his stroke, right?
Right.
And so living here from November to now, and it's the 28th. So tomorrow is going to be March. So I can say from November to March.
Mm-hmm.
Watching my mom decline from November to March has been emotionally and physically taxing on me. It really has. And that's on top of myself, obviously, because I have multiple sclerosis. So I currently, like today, I cannot move consistently the left side of my body right now. It is very painful for me to move my left arm and my left leg. So I'm limping all over the place right now. And I don't dare carry anything with my left arm.
Oh no, that would ask you for disaster.
I don't dare carry anything with my left arm. So everything I'm doing is with the right side of my body. It's like, and my brother is the one. My brother is the one who had the stroke.
Yeah. Of course, you don't want to carry too much because you still got to catch yourself with the right side because you're left.
So yeah. Over the last year, Captain Trek, I've learned how to fall. Well, I learned how to fall in the Army, of course. I mean, I've taken, hand-to-hand combat training, for 10 years. So I know how to fall.
Yeah.
It's just how to fall without breaking, all the stuff that you're carrying in the bag with you.
Yeah. And greetings, Mountains of Elysium, who is out walking his dog.
Right on, Mountains. I'm not jealous. I'm really not. I've gotten over it. I really have. The fact that I can only walk 3 blocks and then sit down for 15 minutes in order to be able to walk home, I've gotten over that. I really have. The fact that I could go grocery shopping and buy 2 weeks worth of groceries for the 3 of us has been, it's boosted my my mentality to the point where it's like, oh, yeah, baby, look what I did. I went grocery shopping today. All right. I was pretty happy about that.
I would be too. I would be too. I no, I that just reminded me. I went into memory mode there. Uh, I had moved to Kentucky for a short time, and while I was there, I bought one of these. I don't know what to call it now. Anyhow, it was a foldable cart that you could wheel along. You'll like put sacks of groceries in.
Oh yeah. I've seen those. Yeah.
And so I bought one while I was there on eBay, of course, because I got it for less.
Naturally.
And even though I had a car, it's like I don't want to use it because this is pointless. It was easier to walk to the grocery store than it was drive. If you've ever been to, I can't think of the name of the place now. Anyhow, it's a college town in Kentucky. One of their one of their favorite activities, I'll say, is tailgating, and I don't mean like people do for football.
Right.
I'm talking on the fucking road.
Yeah.
So actually, it's safer off the road, and I had actually found a way that I could kind of cross through somebody else's property because everybody else seemed to, and get as a shortcut to get to the store.
I honestly don't know how much shopping I would actually get done if I were in a town like that, though. Because seriously, I'd be walking to the store going, high school girls stay the same age. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kevin Jack. I'm sorry. I know.
Oh, no problem.
Your story. Seriously, it's like I get older, they stay the same age. I can't help myself.
Oh, I know. Of course not. Of course, I don't know.
The worst part is I've got daughters who are that age. It's like they stay the son of a bitch. I can't be attracted to my daughter's friends. That's wrong.
Actually, it partially depends. As long as it's over the legal age of consent, that's one thing.
True. Yes. Absolutely. Yes.
The other is thinking it and acting on it are two different things.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Now, if you're consumed thinking about people who are underage, then that's an issue. If it's not, then who cares? It's just a thought.
It's just a thought. Exactly. Yeah. It's not like I want to be with someone who's 18 years old. For God's sake, I have nothing in common with them. But yeah, crossing through your neighbors' fields and backyards and things like that to get to the grocery store.
Oh yeah, it was just a little hill that nobody used because it was basically unusable property. It was rather steep. You would have actually had to put steps in. Of course, when you put steps in, then it again would be unusable because it couldn't roll up the cart. But the way it was like, oh, this is cool. I could just, and I just found it by accident because I was trying to get to the store faster. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Because I didn't necessarily like walking along the road. It's like, fuck this.
And Jedi Bill says he has been listening.
Cool. See, this is the thing. I always assume that somebody is either listening or will be listening. I don't presume either way.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
This is also why I say I will never say something about somebody I will not say to somebody. That's why when there have been a couple of times that somebody started to say something, it's like, not here. No.
Yeah. I haven't run into that problem because the Insomniac soup is pretty much just crazy town most of the time, and Jedi Bill and I are rebuilding the customer base for Insomniac soup. I know we've got diehard listeners, and that's awesome. But we used to go over 20 viewers every time we went on live, and it's gotten down to the point where we're lucky if we get 10. So whatever, it doesn't matter. So we are rebuilding the customer base for Insomniac soup, and it's pretty cool actually. Just rebuilding that base, it's kind of fun. Reaching out to other communities and things. I mean, for the most part, you have to admit, Captain Track, we're pretty insular as far as who we go to, right? So,
right.
Bird of Prey 5 or shit. LDG or anti-tracker or something like that. I mean, we're pretty much insular, right? So reaching out to other communities and bringing people in it's pretty cool. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Well, for me, it's a lot of fun. I don't know if it's a lot of fun for other people to go out and reach out to other communities. I like to reach out to the like the Doctor Who communities, like the TARDIS Zone, or who did I just get involved with on Discord? It was the script doctors and things like that. I mean, just getting involved with other communities, other insular groups, and getting them all to come together.
Yeah,
it's kind of neat. I enjoy it.
And hello, Lucifer Chavez. But there are people I'll reach out to. and I know that this is not going to be popular with all of the people that like some of the more I don't know what to say, controversial topics, because I don't delve into these rumors or myths or all the other stuff that goes on. I don't get on Reddit. I don't get on the other sites. It's just like I don't care. I really don't care.
Well, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, you like what you like, and you don't like what you don't like. Uh, you and I are still friends, even though you don't like lower decks, and I do.
Oh, I liked the last episode.
Yeah, the last episode, right? Everybody keeps saying, I liked the last episode. Well, I liked it the entire time, so I guess that makes me unique, just like everybody else. Unique, just like everybody else. I'm a total individual, just like everybody else. It's a contradiction in terms. The English language is hard.
Yes, it is. English is one of the more difficult languages.
Actually, you know what? It really is. Being a hybrid of multiple uh, sources, obviously. You've got the Picts who came from Northern Europe. You've got the Gauls who came naturally from France. You've got the Latin languages, the Germanic languages. You've got the Norwegian languages, lowlands, highlands, all that stuff. And so you got all kinds of crazy languages, and then they all converged in New York, in America, right?
Mhm.
And so we've got American. We've got American versus British versus Irish versus Scottish versus Australian versus New Zealand.
Which we do have a New Zealander that comes in here some mornings. So that's, or mornings for here.
Yeah, right. Afternoons for them, but yeah, go ahead.
It's like, I don't even bother. It's like, okay, yeah. Of course, we got at least one Australian that comes in here, and it's like, okay, I don't even remember. I don't even know what day it is versus forget what time of day.
Just assume it's tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow morning, and you're good.
Well, it was funny, one time, Yosef was in here, and somebody from down under was on here, and Yosef was saying greetings to the future.
Oh, yeah, right. Oh, I put a shrimp on the bobby. You don't know where the international dayline is.
Oh, well, at least you do it better than Burger per time.
I don't do it well, but I may do it better than Bird. Yeah.
I love Bird. Don't get me wrong, I do. He's an awesome guy.
He's horrible at accents. Absolutely horrible at accents.
Well, let's put it this way: he can't even pull off a New York accent. And he's a native New Yorker, so
I was going to
Whoops.
say, for those of you in the chat who don't know, he's from New York. Oh my goodness, yes. So I have to admit, I actually did pay to go on to Match.com.
Yes.
It has not gone well for me because I've been honest. Maybe I should not have been honest in my profile, like smokes like a chimney and drinks like a fish. Because apparently women are not impressed by men who, smoke like a chimney and drink like a fish.
Oh, it's better than saying that you are non-smoking, non-drinking, then all of a sudden they show up and you're drunk and smoking.
Right? That's what I thought too, but apparently they want men who lie. Although every single profile says, I want a man who's honest. And then they look at my profile and they go, well, too honest. LBG, what's happening, brother?
And
But seriously,
can you read that? Am I a chop?
And I am chop suey.
Oh, and I'm chop suey. Okay. Nobody said you were chop suey. Nobody said you were chop suey.
But seriously, I mean, it's like every single profile that I go on and I read the captions and everything, and it's like, I want a man who's honest and mature. It's like, okay, I own my own house. I'm totally retired and completely independent. I also am honest about drinking. I'm honest about smoking. And yet, you don't want to talk to me? Okay. I'm only 200 pounds, and I'm fairly muscular for 200 pounds. So let me think about that for a second. You're a liar. You don't want someone who's honest. You want someone who will lie to you to your face and pretend that they're not lying to you. I'm sorry. I'm done with women. I'm done with men. I'm done with women. I just want to be single for the rest of my life. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Unfortunately, that's how people are.
I don't understand it. I don't. I mean, I was married for 15 years and she constantly kept telling me, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. And then she kept berating me constantly about, well, that's not okay. That's not okay. That's not okay. It's like, really? I mean, you're really all over the map on this. I mean, either it's okay or it's not okay, or I give up. I'm done. Goodbye. I need to find a non-binary. Thank you, geeks.
Oh, Lord.
That is the culture we're in, though, isn't it? I mean, you've got these tropes, right, that you have to abide by, right? Like, I'm a male, obviously. I'm able to fix a car. I'm able to fix a sprinkler. I'm able to replace a faucet. I'm able to build a room in a house. I can do all these things. I can replace hardwood flooring. I can do accounting. I can do uh, contract negotiations. I'm basically a Renaissance man, for God's sake. And yet, I'm not good enough. What the fuck are you looking for?
Perfection.
There's no such thing. There is no such thing. Okay, I smoke and I drink. I got that. Okay. And that's not socially acceptable anymore. Although, 40 years ago it was acceptable, but it's not acceptable now. Other than that, 40 years ago, it would have been a no-brainer. Like, oh my God, he knows how to replace a kitchen faucet? Shit, I'm going to marry him right now. 40 years ago, it was like, he knows how to negotiate a government contract? I'm going to marry him right now. Now, it's like, you got to be able to negotiate a government contract, replace the kitchen sink, and not drink or smoke. You know what? Fuck you. If I can do all that, I don't exist. I don't exist. There is not a person like me on this planet. I'm sorry. I give up. I'm done.
Oh, and I would like to thank Jedi Bill, who is posting links in the chat. And yes, I do have those in the description below. But I like having people put it in the chat because not everybody happens to look at the description. So, thank you. Let's see here.
I think you and I have both been keeping a pretty close eye on the chat.
Absolutely.
You can go through the chat if you want to.
I don't really see much of. Let's see here. Okay, he's okay. Geeks enjoyed Veronica, Lucifer. Shadows, I'm okay. Just got for a minute before going back to bed. We'll be lurking. Now, well, the funny thing is, what I find funny is I'll go into LDG's backstage and I'll hear my live stream running. It's like, oh, dear God, really?
He's got 14 screens. Remember that. He's got 14 screens and 14 streams all going on at the same time. You got to give him a break.
It's there are a few that I'll hear and it's like, mine. It's like, oh dear God, I don't want to hear mine.
I don't ever want to hear mine.
I mean, I think
actually, I went on. Oh, who's that? One of the Dicks of Hazard. He has a YouTube page. John Snyder. Schneider?
Yeah, I know.
Schneider. John Schneider, right?
Yes.
And so I went on to his webpage and I invited him because May is coming up fairly quickly. I mean, I didn't know we still need to get through March and April, but May is coming up. And that was my 1 year anniversary of going live. February 8th was actually my 1 year anniversary of being on YouTube. But May, Memorial Day was my 1 year anniversary, is my 1 year anniversary of going live. Ironically, my very first live stream was the very first live stream that Admiral Oliver Franklin Doom was on, and he went live after that. I was like, oh my God, really? Seriously? Like, my first live stream was his first live stream, and he went live after that. It was like, and he gave me shit for it for the rest of the year. Oh God, I miss the Admiral so much.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so come May, it's like my first year live streaming on YouTube. Other than that, I was posting videos. I honestly intended to get back to posting videos. I just haven't done it yet. But yeah, so I invited John to sing a couple of songs, patriotic songs for Memorial Day. He hasn't gotten back to me yet, so I'm hoping he will. But whatever. I'll still sing all the old patriotic songs that I've done for every single veteran stream that I've ever done. It'd just be nice to have someone famous on my stream once in a while.
Funny thing is, there were a couple of people I could ask, but it's like, no, I'm not going to.
Oh, I have nothing to be embarrassed or jealous about. It's like, I done my duty. Seriously, I know I've said this multiple times before, but I don't do this for fame, or I don't do this for money.
No.
I do this because it's what I have to do. It's what I have to do. Not what I have to do, but what I have to do. It's a hobby more than a career,
Exactly.
Like,
and good morning, 47 Yorktown. How are you this morning?
Hey, 47 Yorktown. I haven't seen you in a while, man. But like in November, I took, obviously I took a couple of months off.
Mm-hmm.
That's when my brother had his stroke. So I just, I ended all of my social media. I just did not do Twitter or Facebook or YouTube or anything. I just ended it all. I was like, I'm done. And I gained 20 subscribers. That either means that my content is really bad or my content is really good. I'm not sure which.
Or that you had people pushing you while you were off.
Or that, yeah. I'll go with that. I like that. People were pushing me while I was off, yeah.
Because I know they were.
Oh, yeah. And I tried to get on as much as possible while I was in that hiatus period. So, I'm still pretty much in that hiatus period. It's not like I've been doing the pain streams every Thursday or the spiritual streams every Wednesday. It's I gotta help my mom. I It's not a pain stream. It's whatever you want it to be, Captain Track. I mean, it's your stream.
People talk about whatever because
If you gotta help your mom get out of bed, and you gotta help your mom get on and off the toilet, and you gotta help your mom move around the house, it doesn't leave a lot of time for
no,
stuff like this, you know? And the fact that I can barely move the left side of my body right now, and I'm still helping my mom get up and down from the bed and etc. And I am making sure that my brother is taking his medications every day. It's taxing on me. So I'm actually looking forward to this weekend where I get 3 days where I can drive up to my house and make sure that my house isn't burnt to the ground, and drive out to my ex-wife's house where my kids are, and get to make a meal for my son for his birthday, and drop off his birthday present. Uh, I get 3 days to myself, but I'll still be thinking about, can my mom get out of bed? Can my mom get to the bathroom? Can my brother remember to take his medication? It's driving me absolutely crazy. And I haven't even gone on vacation yet. So, yeah, I think maybe signing up for the dating site was well, it was probably a mistake, honestly, because I really don't want another Mrs. CCDV in my life. I really don't. But it seems to be maybe my mental capacity is just all over the place, and I need something to focus on. So I'm focusing on a dating site, for God's sake. Ugh. How stupid am I?
well, you never know. Could at least, develop a friendship out of it. Nothing else.
Actually, you know what? That honestly, Captain Trek, that's what I'm looking for right now, is just someone to go out and hang out with. Hey, Bird of Prey 5, what's happening, brother?
And Kapla Bird, what's going on?
And I mean, obviously, I sing karaoke on Saturday nights with, and then Jedi Bill at the after party, and so I enjoy Saturday nights. I really do, and hence I'm, here Sunday morning. Hello, Captain Trek. How are you doing? But seriously, though, it's like, yeah. No, Bird of Prey, you're on the wrong dating sites. I have to be honest with you. Those are mostly Indian guys who can't barely speak or type English. Although it is fun for a distraction sometimes. It's like watching a porno in slow motion. But the proper dating sites, you look for women who are close to your own age and okay, fair enough. Yeah. Bird of Prey 5. Honestly, I'm not absolutely sure that I could actually have a sustainable relationship with a woman these days myself. But it is kind of fun to, figure out who's out there. And the reason I say that is because I went to a smoke shop to buy a couple of cartons of cigarettes, for my mother, my brother, and myself, of course. I smoke like a chimney, like I said. So I went to a smoke shop and I said, I need this carton and this carton. And she came back and with the cartons and she said, I need, what year were you born? And I said, hey, 77. And she said, that's the year my parents were born. And I went, God damn it. Because she was good looking. I was like, wow, you're really good looking. And then she said, that's the year my parents were born. Oh, son of a bitch.
Oh, God.
I can't ask someone out who's the same age as my daughter. That's wrong. So I went on the dating site. I was like, okay, anyone over 40, please? Anyone? I've gotten like 3 likes. It's like, come on.
Oh, I remember.
You say you want people who are honest. I smoke like a chimney and I drink like a fish. You don't want someone who's honest. You want someone who will lie to your face. That's what you want.
I remember last time I was on any dating site, I was in my 30s. That was years ago. And so, of course, the only ones that were responding to me were, well, people older than I am now.
Right?
And it's like, no, this is kind of creepy.
Yeah, the only like I've gotten was a 60-year-old. I was like, I'm sorry. I know I'm desperate, but I'm not that desperate. And Bird of Prey brings up a good point. I probably should have brought up the point. Do you have daddy issues? Maybe I should have brought up that point. Maybe I should have. On the other hand, I do actually go to that smoke shop every week.
And good morning, Professor Brady Specs.
I'm still waiting for them to advertise that they sell pot because, let's see, today's Sunday?
Correct.
So tomorrow's Monday. So tomorrow is the 1st of March.
Correct.
Yeah, that's when it's supposed to be legal to buy pot in Arizona. So I'm assuming, and I may be incorrect in this assumption, but I am assuming that smoke shop will actually sell marijuana next week.
Which would be nice. Make it convenient, at least.
Apparently, I am supposed to be smoking sativa, whatever that is. It is a certain strain of marijuana, but it is supposed to be good for nerve pain. So I'll
And
try it.
hello, Andrea.
You know, I'm going to get up early way more often and listen to you guys on this stream because it's like, oh, now the truth comes out when there are no chicks around.
Andrea, you've only gotten 2 hours of sleep. I'm not sure that you're totally coherent to have a conversation like this.
My friend, you have way overestimated the amount of sleep that I have gotten. I'm fucking driving around rural goddamn Michigan trying to figure out what I'm going to do next because, I'm like 500-600 miles away from home, a couple hours from the school I'm taking my kid to, and we got a call late last night that one of our teachers was just diagnosed with COVID.
Oh, for God's sake, please, Andrea, don't tell me.
Oh, it's all
I'm
right.
sorry. I am a COVID non-believer.
Well, I don't understand that, but for the purposes of this conversation, why don't you pretend the global pandemic exists so we can I can tell you my tales of woe.
Yes, please do. I've
Um,
learned to submit to that kind of stuff. I wear a mask when I go to the grocery store because I have to.
yeah, well, good for you. um, but I mean, I have to put a mask on now because I'm going into a Meijer. Do you guys have Meijer, by the way?
No, but I'm assuming it's a lot like a Circle K.
It's a grocery store.
Yeah. Can you? It
Oh, like
appears
a
to have like
Piggly
a.
Wiggly.
It
Yeah,
has a
like the
home
Piggly
section
Wiggly.
though. It appears to have a home section, which is why I'm here because that's fun to walk around. So I'm wearing a mask now, but it's just it's like a pain in the ass because it's boarding school, right? So you can't just. I'm just not going to go there and drop my kid off where there's this thing, where she could get sick or I could get it because I still have to go back to the East Coast where my elderly parents are, and I can't give it to them. And so now I don't know what I'm going to do.
I will address 2 comments in the chat, if you don't mind,
Oh, I haven't
Andrea.
seen the chat. Go ahead. Yeah.
Joseph, for all COVID non-believers, my mother got tested positive today. I'm sorry, Joseph. I really am.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Yosef.
COVID definitely exists, says Brainy Specs, but it is also overhyped. We also are week 50 into our 2-week lockdown.
Which is
Now,
correct.
all of the
Actually,
things he said
we're
are
further
true.
into it.
Let me give you a personal story. And remember my situation. If you do know my situation or recall my situation, my mother has PAH, that's a pulmonary hypertension. And so she is very susceptible to the breathing thing, the lung thing, right?
Yeah.
Pulmonary diseases. I have multiple sclerosis, so I am
that's hard.
very susceptible to lung diseases as well. My sister, who was living with us in November and December, was diagnosed with COVID. She actually had to go to the hospital. She was in the hospital for 5 days. And she came home. Mind you, obviously the COVID thing is like a 2-week incubation period. Mm-hmm. So she had COVID for 2-3 weeks before she went to the hospital. My mother and I didn't get it. we were all living in the same house, eating out of the same dishes, eating the same food, etc., etc. All three of us, and none of us. My mother and I did not get it. My sister is the one who went to the hospital. She recovered. She's back in Alaska with her family. So, I'm just
Why'd she have to
saying.
go to the hospital?
She had. Honestly, she had pneumonia.
Mhm.
But they did diagnose her with COVID because, well, political reasons.
Did
Anyway,
she have a PCR test though? I mean, did they?
she did actually. Yeah, she did. She was actually was COVID positive,
Okay.
and
So
my
this is a
mother.
really good. This is a really good piece of anecdotal evidence that you cannot tell from a person's immunological situation whether they will get a very bad case of it or not, which is why you try really hard not to get cases of it at all.
I understand why you try not to get cases of it at all, but have you been to a grocery store lately? Oh, wait, you're in a grocery store. How many people in that grocery store have their masks on properly?
You're going to tell me that because other people don't wear it properly, no one should have to?
I am wearing my mask properly every time I go into a building. I am required to, and so I do.
You know what, CC? I don't want to have this conversation right now. I mean, I just don't like it. Doesn't make any. This is a flat Earth conversation to me, and I'm not. I am not walking around judging the world for how it's doing things. What I am is walking around the world at a time when there is a virus that we didn't know, that science and humanity didn't know a year and a half ago, that we are trying to deal with, both in a way that has as few deaths as possible and does not overload emergency rooms. And so I don't care, frankly, about the questions of how anyone is reacting to it and whether you're a good person or a bad person because of your mask. I just don't give a shit. What I care about is getting us as the human fucking species to a place where there is some relative sense that you're not going to accidentally get something that kills you. Um, as much as we can ever be in that situation, right? But like talking about all the, the 2 week lockdown or the 50-week lockdown, I don't give a shit about that at all. So I'm sorry. I'm a little bit I'm a little bit exhausted by that whole thing because this is not fucking political.
Tell us how you really feel.
I'm exhausted by it too, but I'm exhausted. I think, if I understand you correctly, I think I'm exhausted in the other direction than you are.
What do you mean?
Meaning, I think the masks are ridiculous. It's a pointless exercise in political control. But you didn't want to go into politics, so I'm not going to go into politics. I just think that the max.
I have the perfect person on now. I would like. Do you have anyone there who could shoot a video for you, Mr. CCTV?
What video are you referring to?
Because I would like to see you take a nice big drag of a cigarette, then put on a mask and see if the smoke blows through it.
Oh, no, that's
Yeah.
not the point. That's not the point in the mask. The mask is to stop the mucous membranes from going through, not from the virus. Now, I've made this argument in the past. Obviously, the virus is obviously much, much smaller than an air molecule. Right. So I've made that argument in the past. But the mask is to stop the mucous membrane from going
Spit.
through the mask. So you are not spreading the virus. Now, the argument that I make these days is that, well, at least in Arizona, I'm not sure about other states, but at least in Arizona, is that most people, they walk into the store with their mask on properly, and then they pull their mask down below their chin or below their nose at least. And so it's totally pointless at this point to
I just,
even wear a mask.
it just doesn't. I so appreciate your stance towards the world, because it's people like you that keep us, and a lot of people around here, that keep us from going overboard, or that check us when we get into this state where we feel like we can control all the variables in the world, including what everyone thinks of a certain kind of people and blah blah blah. I'm so for that. But when you step over the line into a relativistic world where everyone gets to choose what is true and what isn't, and the government is fucking controlling all of our minds by making us put a piece of fucking fabric on our faces, I just fucking can't do it today.
You know,
I'm sorry.
I know there are a lot of people on the panel right now who do not like or are maybe I should say antithetical to anti-trekker.
I don't know anything. I don't know. I don't deal. I mean, he's a great guy, but I don't know him well enough to know what that means.
But his stance is this, and a lot of Christian churches are anti-mask churches, right?
Yeah.
Like, Unmask Arizona is one of the great big movements in the churches right now.
Mhm.
And it's ridiculous because in the Gospels, Jesus, said, do what the government tells you to do. If it doesn't affect your faith,
Right.
then who cares?
Yeah.
Right? So if the government tells you to wear a mask indoors, wear a mask indoors. It's not that big a deal.
Right.
It's really not. And that's why I wear my mask properly
Excuse me.
inside grocery stores or convenience stores or Walmart or wherever it is I happen to be shopping. I wear my mask properly because in my faith, in my own belief system, I was told to follow the government mandates as long as it does not affect my faith. Now, there are a lot of churches who have lost attendance in the last year. So they've lost 50% attendance in the last year because people just don't want to wear a mask to go to church.
Well, and singing is one of the most virulent things you can do.
That's not a church thing, though, right? I mean, for
I don't know.
crying
Where
out
did
loud.
Bird go? Did Bird leave?
No, Bird of Prey 5 is still on the panel.
Bird's
Oh, there
here,
you are.
but I've got my nephew with me, so it's hard to speak.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I will stop yelling obscenities too. And I looked down at my.
No, he can't hear. I have a headphone in.
Oh, okay.
I'm
I looked
just-
at, and also CC. I just looked down at my phone and didn't see the picture
not
of Bird. That's what I was
appropriate
saying. I wasn't saying you stop. I am now listening to Bird. I meant just that. Where'd he go?
Well, that's the point. Is a lot of Bible studies and things like that. They'll go, I'll die for Jesus, and it's like, okay, will you wear a mask for Jesus?
It's just,
and apparently 50% of Christians will not wear a mask for Jesus.
Today I just want to talk about, what's what is not a matter of faith. But you know, there is this thing we are dealing with, and there are so many questions about it, and there's you know, I have faith too. I have, you know, I don't want to even go into that. I just want to talk about reality. I mean,
Okay, let's talk about reality. You yourself have said that the mask will not prevent you from getting the virus. It will only prevent the spread of it.
mhm.
Okay, so wearing the masks for most people, unless they've got it, not really any point. It's
No,
What?
population
How do
control
you
you,
get
you,
and no
there?
well,
more.
Wait, 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 wait,
wait a
wait.
No
minute. Wait
more.
a minute. You may not know that you have it.
Yeah, how do you get to that? I don't know. You just made a logical leap that I don't understand.
Okay.
Yeah, you may not know you have it until you've been tested, and the test is only accurate if
Yeah.
you've had it for 3 or 4 weeks.
You will
And it's
never know
only
who
accurate
you.
about 60% of the time anyway.
And there are
And it's
so
only
So
many
you can't tell the
accurate.
people.
difference
So
between
yeah.
Right, and
COVID
there are
and
so many people who
any
don't
other
get a
coronavirus.
a bad case that you may not know who you passed it to, whose mother then got it and died. You will never know that. So you can't. So like the logical leap of it being pointless because it only
Let me
stops the
put it to you
spread
this
of
way.
disease.
Then you're. Let me ask. I'm not going to assume anything. I'm not going to assume anything. Are you in support of continuing this lockdown? Yes or no?
I need you to tell me what you mean by this lockdown.
Every fucking business that is quote non-essential being closed.
Trek, I think you are a wonderful person, but I need the tone to be taken down in order to be able to have the conversation. I'm sorry.
It's
Yeah.
it's also important to point out that the lockdown varies from state to state.
It
It's
does
state
vary
rules.
from
Extreme.
state
Florida
to
doesn't have
state.
a lockdown for all essential purposes.
Arizona is pretty much open right now.
People.
Yeah.
Yeah, Texas is pretty much
but
open.
also warm, sunny weather.
I just came from a country where they have a curfew starting at 5 o'clock in the
Yep.
afternoon. And so I mean, like, that's why I said I need you to say what you mean by lockdown, because I'm standing in a grocery store right now, which is something that, I mean, that opened at 6 in the morning on a Sunday. So I don't know really what you mean by lockdown.
I'm gonna let birds take control. Go for it, bird. Thank you very much.
I'm
Hello
sorry, Captain
world,
Trek.
Birdo Brightbot. I'm sure Captain will be back.
I
Um,
don't think it's funny. I know that's how you deal with, like, I know, you know, that it's, but I
We
really
do
am
deal.
sorry.
no,
I'm
it's
sorry.
important to note because
Well, you got to
wherever we are.
remember,
Wait,
Okay,
no,
Bird.
CC, let
Hang on,
Bird
Mr.
talk.
CCTV.
let
Yeah,
me just
let
Hang
Bird
on.
finish
Okay,
talk.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's important to remember that we're a group that is all over the country and the world. So the lockdown in Canada is different. Hell, the lockdown in Manitoba is different than the lockdown in New York and the lockdown in Florida and the lockdown in Texas. So, and probably that's good. I like that it's more tailored to where it needs to be, stronger where it needs to be stronger. Now, a lot of it is on political issues, but when we say lockdown, we have to remember that our experience is not the same as the experiences everyone else we're talking to. I don't know what the lockdown experience in Missouri has been like. And frankly, I'm not even sure what the lockdown experience in New York is because I've been locked down for 10 years. But, through my sister and other people I know, I've got some idea of how things are. And I know that's very different than the people I talk to who are in Florida are right now. Because to them, things are pretty much back. In Tennessee, things seem to be pretty much back. Yes, everybody's still wearing masks. Now, my sister, who I can't give much details about, works for a company stationed in a country where they've even stopped wearing masks. They're done.
And we have an office in New York.
Charlie.
Wisconsin.
Yeah, says Charlie.
Large
Oh,
offices in New
Charlie.
York and Wisconsin.
So
So the plans for every location had to be, and we have offices in the Philippines. So
Yeah.
all over the map.
yeah, so I
Different
mean,
plan.
just want to say that when we say the lockdown, just a reminder that our lockdown is different than your lockdown and somebody else's lockdown.
Yeah.
So,
Good
Catherine,
point, Bird.
when you say stuff
Yeah.
like, "Do you agree with this lockdown?" Understand her lockdown is not the same as your lockdown. Your lockdown might be draconian. I
Yeah.
honestly don't know what Missouri's lockdown procedure is. You're saying all essential business, unessential business are closed. I think that is personally, I think that's ridiculous because I think all businesses are essential businesses. To a point. At this point, why Target gets to be open, but a little mom and pop store doesn't. That I don't agree with. But should we be wearing masks? I think so. Should we, be limits on capacity at restaurants? I think possibly so, depending on the density of the place and what the rates are in the area. Should schools be closed? That's a tough one.
Oh my God,
but-
it's
but-
just
but-
this is why my kid's in boarding school, so that my
I
my
do
kid
appreciate
at
the schools
13.
that are giving choice.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, as a mother, my kid at 13, at the beginning of this lockdown, I can't describe to you without getting really emotional what it's like to watch your kid have only social interactions online. To have a 13-year-old girl have only interactions online for months on end. And it is such a difficult position to be in, not just economically, like suddenly having to take care of your kid full time when you work, but just as someone who cares about the emotional and relationship development of your kid at a critical moment. I mean, I don't want to send her to boarding school. She got a scholarship and shit. They create one pod, and
I was
she
wondering
could
why
be
she was
with
going to boarding
actual.
school.
She
But
could
I
be
didn't
with
wanna ask.
actual other adolescents. I don't think it's healthy for her to have all of her interactions with boys and girls at this age be on a medium where all they do is represent some version of themselves. It scares me.
Well, I actually agree with that 100%. Having 16 and 17-year-old boys and 11-year-old or 10-year-old girl,
Yeah.
it is something that I have to contend with, and I
Yeah.
failed. I have to admit I failed with my 10-year-old.
Oh,
I
there's
did.
time. There's never total failure, and
No,
it's
not
sort of
not total
always a
failure,
never.
but I mean, like her schoolwork and stuff. I mean, I failed at that, so I was not paying attention to what she was doing, assuming
the
that she
schoolwork.
was similar to my 16-year-old who was doing his schoolwork. So that was my fault. And of course, the teachers were at fault as well because they did not tell me that she had not turned in any assignments at all the entire time.
Yeah, I just
Oh,
I
I'm
don't
hearing
want you
music.
guys. Oh, it's because I'm in the grocery store. I'll move away from
Ah.
that speaker. I'm not. That whole thing about boarding school is really just an option that presented itself because they offered her a 75% scholarship. I am definitely not the kind of kid who wants to parent who wants to send her kid away. It's just it was sort of, well, here's an option. and actually, because of my work, I was able to stay at the school and be sort of a writer in residence for the whole first semester. So I haven't even left her yet, which is another whole thing going on right now.
that's kind of neat,
emotionally.
actually.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I guess my point was, I think the question of schools being open or closed is fundamentally a totally different world. It's so much more complicated because it has to do with the kind of society that we want to be in 5-10 years, after having reared our children collectively as a society in a way that we chose for one reason, not necessarily seeing the negative consequences of that or looking at them clearly, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's just to make that point.
Well, my biggest question, and it mirrors Mr. Londell, actually. Why are we making our children scared? I mean, my kids would not even come to my birthday party, and they all tested negative for the virus, but they would not come to my birthday party because they had the vid in their house at one point in the last 3 months. But they would not come to my birthday party.
Of you getting it.
Well, the thing is, they knew that my sister had the vid in our house, and my mother and I didn't get it. So
Yeah, but you don't know if it means you were just lucky or you had a natural immunity.
Sounds like you have some pretty
know.
smart kids there, actually.
I mean, I'm
just
sure
saying,
emotionally it was horrible.
The thing is, they all tested negative.
Right, but
Every
these-
single
Oh,
one
Charlie.
of them.
And that's great that they all tested negative, but God forbid
Or-
one of them gave it to you, then you got sick and died. How would they would ever
Or
forgive
they had the
themselves?
antibodies, or I
Well,
mean,
the antibody test is something they can do.
the ex-wife had it.
Did you ever
her
have the
husband-
antibody test, CC?
Her husband had it. I've been tested 3 times. My mother's been tested. My brother
Did
has
you ever
been
have
tested.
the antibody test?
I'm going to mute
Yeah,
myself.
I had to have the antibody test to go to the VA.
Did you have the antibodies?
No, I didn't.
Sorry, Charlie. Yes.
I don't have the antibody. To my knowledge, I don't have the
You want these?
antibodies to this day.
Yeah.
So I honestly don't know.
Yeah, but what you're talking about, CCV, Bird,
Sorry
it's
about
not
that.
ever going to change that. They're never going to completely eliminate a virus, at least for several human generations. It's still going to be floating out there somewhere. So it's
Right.
never going to change that his kids were exposed. They don't want to expose him. The only way they're ever going to do that is literally never seeing him again.
No, that's
Or
not
if
true.
he gets a
Yes,
vaccine.
that is true. That is
No.
absolutely
No, it's
true.
not true.
That's not true.
It's not true.
Okay, here's what we're going to do from now on. We are not talking about COVID on this channel ever. Fucking ever. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it because my beliefs are definitely going to be different than Bird's, are definitely going to be different than anybody else's. And I know that.
That's
And I
not
know
a
that
problem.
Joseph already left. So from now on, anybody talks about COVID, I'm kicking them.
So how
There is
about
no-
them White Sox?
How about them Black Sox?
I literally had to step away from the computer because I was about ready to throw my fucking computer into the wall.
Well, that's an overreaction. But it is your stream, Captain. So if you don't want to talk about something, we won't talk about it.
That's fine.
It's everybody's choice.
I don't even at this point. Everybody, if you want to, if you're able, go over to Andy Trucker stream. He's on Twitch. Go for it. This shit
Any
show
tracker
has.
streaming.
I
Oh,
don't
it's
think
Sunday.
you have to do that, Captain.
Please
Jack, but if
don't, Captain.
but I also don't think you should feel that you have to do it. I can't tell how to help. Help.
Well, okay, Latino Slant. If you're leaving, if we stop talking about it, get up here then.
I'm pretty sure Latino Slant was joking. But the link is
But
in
I
the
don't
chat.
understand. Do you
so-
want to talk about it or not, Captain? Because now you're sending a mixed message.
You know what, Bird of Prey 5? I think you're instigating, and
Well, no,
I'm not
I
sure.
was
I
I
don't,
was
not at all.
literally stopping talking about it, but then
Yeah.
Latino Science says he's going to leave if we
absolutely,
stop, and he says, "Well, then come up and talk about it." So I don't understand.
I understand. I understand that point of view. I do, but I think you're instigating in a time of crisis that doesn't need to be instigated.
Yeah, I apologize. Then I will just
I'm
talk about
sitting
something else.
here.
Well-
Yeah, I mean, I'm sitting here thinking like thinking it through because I really respect you, Captain Trek, completely, and I want to be respectful of you, but I don't know what we do on this, what we talk about if we don't talk about what is meaningful to us in our lives right now. And I know that doesn't sound like, Star Trek and stuff, but it actually is.
Okay,
'Cause
you
all
want
those-
you want the
that's what we-
truth? You want the truth? Okay, Yosef is in a country with lockdowns that are far more severe than ours. Okay,
Draconian.
his mother still got COVID. Okay, the masks, the lockdown shit don't fucking work.
No,
You
they
want a
will
mask
not
that's
keep
gonna
people
you want a
from-
mask that's gonna work, you have to get one that is fucking sealed and has fucking filters. Otherwise, you're putting a goddamn napkin on your face. That's it. Nothing more.
I don't agree with you, but I
Well,
I feel like you
I
feel
will,
right now.
I will follow the guidelines. I will wear the fucking mask that doesn't do a fucking thing because it's the fucking rules.
Mm-hmm.
But if they don't start to fucking open up every fucking thing that isn't open now, I'm gonna go fucking crazy.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
understandable.
mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it
I'm not
anymore.
going to take it anymore.
And
There you
we, as a people, not just as this country, as every country in the world, need to stand up and say, fuck you, fuck your lockdowns, open the fuck back up!
But Captain, what if you have half the population don't want to go to work because they're afraid they're going to catch it? Would he force them to work? At
You know what?
gunpoint?
If I get, no, they don't want to work.
Thousands of years.
Well,
You
teachers
know-
don't want to work.
I have to be honest with you, Bird. Economic incentive is far more powerful than
So
fear.
you're going to raise wages for everybody?
No, just
I didn't
cut
say
them
that.
off.
You said if people don't want to go back.
There
to
are a
work,
lot of people
will
right
go
now
back
afraid to
work.
go to work, including teachers. So how are you going to
know
force teachers back to work?
They're not
I
afraid.
just-
That's their union. That's
I
saying
think
they're afraid.
I think the conversation, the thing that I'm hearing that is like so fucking deeply true is the goddamn pain that this whole fucking thing is doing to us and how
The mental pain as
yes,
well.
Yes.
We're worried about the physical
hard.
aspects, but we've
Yes.
ignored the mental
Yes.
toll it's
Pain.
taking on this
Yeah.
country.
Pain.
agree with you.
Yeah. Well, fear and anxiety is what we're talking about right
Yes. Mm-hmm. And
now. And
I think
I don't think the fear is justified, but the anxiety is.
I'm talking. I don't care whether it's the virus or the lockdowns. It's all doing all of it to. Hold on, let me just finish. It's doing all of it to all of us, and the measure of grace that we have to muster up is humongous and taxing. And any connection that we have with other people, like finding you people online, that just is so precious. It's hard. This is really hard. The whole fucking thing.
You can talk about statistics all day long. You can talk about anecdotal evidence all day long. But it doesn't mean a thing. It really doesn't. Because what we're talking about is fear and anxiety. That's what we're talking about.
And we're all
And
channeling it into different aspects of it, but it's all the same thing that we're all living through.
and I have no fear or anxiety over this. However, I know that other people do. I know that other people do. It's just where you're at and how you deal with it that is, well, how your government is dealing with it, I should say. Like, again, for instance, in Arizona, it's pretty much a joke. I mean, you see people driving with their masks in their cars by themselves. There are no passengers. I mean, they're literally in their cars by themselves with their masks on. And you see that and you go, whatever. And then you go to a restaurant and you take your mask off and you eat your meal and you talk to the waitress or the waiter or the wait staff, whatever the case may be. You go to a bar. For instance, in my case, I went to my favorite bar in my little mountain town. I love it. Williams, Arizona. Everybody visit there. Take the train to the Grand Canyon. Anyway, I went to my little bar and we didn't wear masks, but we did put the little foam rubber thingies over the microphones when we sang karaoke. So,
Let me ask you, did the waiter or waitress who took your order at the restaurant have a mask on?
Under her nose.
Well, while that's sucky compared to what it could have been, considering she's talking at you, it is at least blocking the globs of microscopic spit coming out of her mouth. And so it's doing part of its job. I mean, the risk of getting COVID in a restaurant from another person eating, 3 feet or 4 feet away from you is minuscule. The risk is getting it from the wait staff.
I went grocery shopping today for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks worth of grocery shopping today. It was very painful, obviously, because of my disease. But I'm the only one in the household who can do it. So I did it. And watching these people, they walk in with the mask over their mouth and nose, and then they pull it down to talk on their cell phone or to scratch their nose and then touch something on the shelf. I don't know what other people have touched on the shelf. I'm not carrying around a can of Lysol to spray everything that is touched on a shelf. I'm not saying
it's
that
not
the masks,
perfect, but you're making the perfect. Just because something's not perfect doesn't mean it's not good.
Are useless. I'm saying that most people, or many, not most, many people are making the masks useless.
Okay, but just because somebody touches their nose and then touches something and push their mask back on doesn't mean the mask has become 100% useless.
Well, okay, yeah, you're right.
I mean, you would only, your only concern in that case is if you happen to touch the same thing that person just touched. Whereas if that person weren't wearing a mask, your concern is the entire time you're within, 10 feet of that person.
I would generously ask you, how much research have you done on the flu over the last 10 years?
Well, there's been research done, a lot of research done on the flu, but this is
It's
not the
the-
flu.
No, it's not the flu, but it is very similar to the flu. It is a respiratory disease.
No, it's not
No, it's
similar.
different. It's not
Some of the
similar to
symptoms are
flu.
similar,
Similar to
but
SARS
physically,
is what it is.
it's very different from the flu.
But we
I'm-
don't. It's like I hesitate to draw us back into a not because it's a bad conversation, just because it does not evolve. The questions of of what
It really doesn't
the
evolve.
masks.
You're
It doesn't
absolutely
evolve.
correct. I mean, people have their personal stance on it, and then there's the opposite viewpoint. I think that the masks are useless and everything should be opened up. That's my personal opinion. Now, do I follow the rules? Yes, because I'm required to. However,
I think
many
that- I
people
think-
don't.
Sorry.
Many people don't, and it does not affect the overall statistics.
Yes, it does affect the statistics. I mean, we can't know by exactly how much, but clearly, when people go around not wearing a mask or not using it correctly, it affects statistics.
I have been paying attention to
This is the
statistics.
non-evolving conversation, you guys. I mean, I think the question
0.0%, 0.05% is
No.
what the difference is between Europe and the United States. 0.05%.
I just think the conversation we're not having as much is the one about how we take care of each other. I know that sounds like all bleeding hearty. I'm trying to figure out a different way to say it, but like how we muster that grace and offer it, like that to me, it really is the religious, it is the spiritual conversation, like how we get through this now.
I have to go back to anecdotal evidence. I have statistics, obviously, which is what I quoted.
No,
right?
I mean
So,
literally CCTV. I mean, how do we
0.05%
take
from
care
Europe,
of?
but
How do we take care of Captain Trek right now? That is what I'm. That is like.
I have.
How do we? Those things.
All I
That's
have
what I care
is
about.
anecdotal evidence.
Okay, but there's other evidence out there. You choose to either accept it or not.
Well, I'm not ignoring it.
Okay, but you're saying this
accepting it.
0.05% versus Europe. I don't understand. To what do you think that means? Because Europe's had lockdowns too. Well,
Right.
Europe isn't doing things all that much differently than what we're doing. And again, like I said, the lockdown in wherever state you're in, Arizona, has been a lot different than the lockdown in France or the UK or New York.
Exactly, and that's the point. That's the point I'm trying to make.
So there's no 0.05%. There's no equivalence you can draw from a difference of 0.05. You can't say that, because masks. No, we don't know. Nobody's had perfect mask wearing.
We don't know. We don't know.
Okay.
But we don't know. But if you apply.
But we know.
Again, nephew of prey is sleeping.
It all goes back to anecdotal evidence.
Okay, but it
anecdotal
doesn't
evidence,
really.
meaning the people that we have talked to in Europe, they are saying that the draconian measures that have been taken in Europe have not increased the protection rate versus the lax.
Who is they in that sentence?
Yeah, I don't.
Because the scientists are not saying that.
I mean,
that is not what the scientists are saying.
The
scientists are not.
What are the scientists saying then?
Because
my brothers.
I'm gonna get off the panel because I keep saying I'm not gonna talk anymore.
No.
I really mean to control myself because I don't want to have this. No, I'm gonna stay in the chat. I'll stay in the chat. I just can't control myself when you use something and act as if it's data when it's not. I can't stop myself. So
That's why I said anecdotal evidence. I cannot I cannot give you specific figures.
Right, but you can't
I
say
can give you
anecdotal evidence in one sentence and then in the
statistics.
next say 5%, 0.5% or something. Like it just doesn't.
No,
It's not
I can give
coherent.
you the statistics.
You need to know where they're from, though, and for them to be useful to me.
Well,
I
agree with you there, Andrea.
I compared the
0.5 is
CDC
more an
from
average between
the.
all countries.
Well, I
regardless of what
compared the
their lockdown
CDC
so it's an average from
data.
the extreme lockdowns for like where Joseph is, or the virtually non-existent lockdowns.
Yeah, but you've got to
We don't know.
compare there's others. Okay, you take raw numbers, but then you've got to figure in, well, a country like Italy had way more elderly people than a country like the United States. So you've got to control for those things.
Different.
You can't just look at numbers and make comparisons. It doesn't work like that.
And I also want to hear from more people in the conversation than me and CCTV. I feel like I am totally like talking too much. I want to hear from other people, and so
PCAT,
I'll probably come on back in a little bit. Go ahead.
PCAT puts up a comment that masks, while not 100% effective, can lower the viral load you get and lessen severe effects. Again, that's something we know is true. And I just want to say, I mean, you're the anecdotal evidence, I just look at it as basic common sense of the most basic physics. Okay? We know that if you hold your hand in front of your mouth and speak, okay, you're probably eventually going to feel a little wet spot. And that is a little ball of saliva escaping as you talk. It goes out into the air. And this happens all the time. Some people more than others. Okay? That's where the virus is. If we can stop that with a mask, that cuts down tremendously the amount of little particles out there that have the virus that somebody could breathe in 5 minutes later. Okay? That's the point of the mask, more than anything else. Now, yes, it'd be great if it covered your nose too, because there's another, chance of little balls of moisture coming out your nose. But if it's only covering your mouth, it's better than nothing. And you don't need to be a physicist or an engineer to understand the science behind that, the basic physics, the common sense behind that. So I just, and yeah, if it's a fabric mask versus a hospital mask versus an N95 mask, sure, there's going to be differences. But any mask, for the most part, I mean, unless it's literally made out of wicker or something, if it's a mask that if it's and the way I learned, and it made sense to me, if it's an effective mask, if you can blow out a birthday candle through the mask, it's not particularly effective. But if you can't blow out a birthday candle with the mask, it's pretty well effective, that it's stopping most of the particles coming out of your mouth. And that's the whole point, is to stop them from being spread around, particularly in places like restaurants where a waiter is literally aimed at you speaking. And, last year, if they did that, nobody cared. They got a little spit on them. They didn't realize they were, but you were always getting little globs of spit on you when people were talking to you. But because of the virus, now we want to try to stop that. So even if you're not eating a mask because you're eating, the wait staff wearing their mask is protecting you from them spreading it to 6 or 10 people a night, if they had it and they didn't know they had it. That's just why people should wear a mask. I understand totally that there are people out there who are physically unable to breathe because of masks, or claustrophobic because of masks. Those are separate issues. And, but if you're not claustrophobic, if you don't have an adverse reaction to wearing a mask, I mean, it just seems like makes sense, the easiest thing to do. And I don't understand why people are so against it. And yet I'm the first one to say, government is too big and I don't want government telling me what to do. But guys, government doesn't need to tell me to do this. I'm not doing this because Cuomo says to. I'm doing this because I'm not an idiot in my own head. And I feel like, yeah, I don't want to risk somebody else getting sick because of me. And I don't want to get somebody's fucking spit globules on me either. So it sounds like common sense.
I got a serious question.
Yeah.
Okay. If this can be transmitted through your saliva coming out of your mouth, why do they have to dig so far up your nose to detect the thing?
You never know at what point the viral load has gotten to all the way to the most external excretions.
The truth is they don't have to, but they do it because the best chance of getting it is the farther back you go. If somebody was really sick,
important, right?
Yeah, if somebody was really sick, they could probably just swab the edge of their nose and get a positive reading.
It's a really good question.
I have real evidence for this question, actual personal evidence. I had MRSA, methicillin-resistant.
Wow, that's hard.
Staphylococcus aureus.
Aureus.
Yeah.
Aureus, yeah.
Mm-hmm. The worst of all possible staph infections you could possibly get. And it was colonized in my nose. So I never questioned why they were swabbing the nose for this current virus, the COVID. I never questioned it. It never even entered my mind to question why they were sticking a swab up my nose, because that's where my MRSA was.
It's the easiest mucous membrane to get to that isn't constantly being...
No, I think, it's a really good question, though. Why would you have to, scrape so... I mean, it's not pleasant. I've had like 8 tests.
I've had it 5 times. Yeah, it's not pleasant at all.
It's probably to change the effectiveness of the test from 98% to 98.5%. It really doesn't need to be that bad, but that's just because the way scientists and doctors are. They don't care about little things.
There's a very specific biological process when you go from a virus propagating in your system to seroconversion to actually shedding the virus yourself. And if you don't dig deep, then you are not, you cannot be as sure. They're just trying to get as sure as possible that people who, especially people who aren't symptomatic, get really good tests, because they're the ones who spread it.
And again, the same thing applies. I was in Iraq when I got MRSA. So I lived with it for 6 months. I didn't realize it was MRSA because every time I went to the physician's assistant, they were like, "Oh, wow, it looks like spider bites. Let's give you this antibiotic."
In your nose?
No. The frank symptoms when it would actually flare up, right?
Okay.
So the frank symptoms looked like spider bites. And so every time I went to the PA, because my knee was swollen or because I had severe what looked like spider bites on my thigh or calf or whatever the case may be. And I lived with that for 6 months. And then I finally went to a doctor in the United States while I was on mid-tour leave in, I don't know, what was it, July of 2005? Yeah, it was July of 2005. And they finally diagnosed it as MRSA. And so they treated it properly. But I was in the hospital for 4 days with a vancomycin drip in my hand. It literally atrophied one of my veins.
Yeah, that shit is toxic.
Oh, yeah. Vancomycin is bad shit, man. You know? But
thank God it worked.
I've had gallons of it.
Yeah, it worked. I mean, obviously, I'm
thank God it works for you, Bird.
15 years or 16 years, whatever. But yeah, so I mean, yeah, it's you never know where you're going to pick up the virus. But like I said, I don't think that the masks are useful because most people, I'm sorry, I keep saying many people are in the camp of masks are useless, so I'm going to wear it to get into the store and then not wear it while I'm in the store. I wear it properly the entire time because I'm required to by law.
That is such a weird pair of arguments to me because it like the logic doesn't work. Like, shouldn't you be annoyed that people aren't wearing them correctly?
Oh, I am totally annoyed that people aren't wearing them correctly.
Oh, I am as well. We get people in the library all the time. You know, they come in with their mask on and they'll sit at a table and then they take it off.
Right?
I mean, what good is that?
So I don't understand how that leads to an argument that they don't work.
I'm not saying that they don't work.
I'm saying with CCTV, like those two statements to me are counter.
No, my experience is not in the library though. My experience is in a grocery store.
I know, but
I
you're
see that in
saying
grocery stores all the time too.
You're saying masks don't work because people don't use them. You want them to use them correctly, and you shouldn't have to. And they don't work, and you shouldn't have to wear them or something.
Oh, is that the impression that I'm giving? I apologize.
No, I'm sure.
I believe that masks. I believe that masks would work if they were used properly.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I was in the military for 18 years. I don't know if you know that or not.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's the DV part.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a thing about there's a reason that we all shave every day in the military because the gas masks will not fit properly if you are not shaved clean and proper every day. Right. And so I know the difference between a real gas mask and what masks we are wearing. I know the difference in viral load and all that other stuff. And so believe me, I think masks, if worn properly by everyone all the time, would work.
Yeah, I think I was conflating that with the idea that it was just a piece of fabric on your face kind of thing. So I think I didn't. I'm sorry, I didn't understand correctly.
I also don't believe that they will not work because people, A, do not understand them, B, do not know how to wear them, and C, don't want to wear them. So there are obviously more than 3 reasons, but I mean, those are the majors, right? Again,
I hear you.
As soon as I walk out of a store, I take my mask off. It's not like I wear it to my car. It's not like I wear it in my car when I'm by myself.
When you see people, I never wear mine if I don't need to, but I accidentally leave it on all the time.
Oh, you do? Really?
Yeah,
I can't. No.
I think especially because it's been so cold. It's nice and warm in there.
It really bothers my mustache a lot, so I really have to take it off as soon as I can.
I bet.
I'm so used to wearing mine that without thinking, I'll just put it on in the car. It's like,
yeah.
Why did I do that?
It hangs on the gear on the shifter thingy.
Yeah. Since I got my brother out of the hospital, it's been a month now. By the way, that's pretty cool.
Yay!
But I have to keep reminding him to put his mask on. It's like Seriously? You've got a mask in my car. You've got a mask in your car. You've got a mask in the house. I mean, you've got masks everywhere. Pick one.
So Captain Track says in the chat, let me be clear. Do I believe wearing the mask lessens the spread of the virus? Yes. Does it prevent the spread of the virus? F, no. And that's what I
Totally.
agree with too, Captain. I think
Yeah.
we're all on the same page there.
Totally.
Nothing's going to prevent the spread, but the idea is to lessen the spread.
I
don't know
really
what
wish
glass
that would
is.
work, though. It may be working in Europe. It may be working in Europe. And again, like I said, it's just anecdotal evidence from our European friends who have talked about the draconian measures that have been taken in Ireland, mainly in Ireland.
Yeah. Here's
So-
the
I feel
thing.
for Revan.
Here's the thing. Yeah. Yeah, me too. So the virus inside your body acts totally differently from the flu virus, but it happens to have similar symptoms, and therefore, so the kind of prophylactic measures we are taking for COVID happens to prevent the spread of flu as well. And the best indication we have, factually, that this is actually suppressing some viral transmission of COVID is the fact that we have had almost no flu season in this last year. And if we had not done these things, we would have the indication of the flu season being, you can expect it to have been kind of normal. And we've had almost none. So the general idea is that actually it has worked. We cannot quantify what didn't happen. It's impossible to do. But we do have that indication. Comparing to another country is far less statistically significant than comparing it to what is a regular cycle of viral transmission with similar properties.
And Video James and Z, Kapla, says, if masks are really that effective, then why would it matter if you're wearing one and someone else isn't? Well, to be completely honest, if you had 100 people and one person not wearing a mask, is it going to be all that different than if all 100 wearing a mask? No. But if you use that logic, then who's to say who should wear a mask? We all have to make a commitment to wear a mask if we can. And the people who physically can't, they're the ones who kind of get the pass.
Exactly. That's exact. I wear my mask so that people who can't don't have to. That's I don't go around thinking, oh, that guy's an asshole, he's not wearing a mask. I go around thinking, I'm wearing mine so that he obviously can't for whatever reason. So I got to do my thing,
Oh, don't assume that. A lot of people that
No,
aren't
that's just
can.
literally what. Oh, yeah. You're right.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
And PCAT also says, I only wear in a car if I'm making multiple stops where I need mask rather than take it off and put it back on a few minutes later. I would bet most people wearing it in a car are wearing it because they A, are lazy and don't want to take it on and off. B, more than likely just forgot.
Yeah, that's me. That's me.
I mean, you get so used to it.
Yeah.
They are so used to putting it on, they just automatically do it without thinking.
It's become a fashion accessory.
Yeah, or whatever, or like socks. I don't like fucking worry about my socks all the time either. It's just a thing you have on. Yeah.
I mean, hell, I honestly, because I'm at home and we never have visitors, I probably wear the mask less than most people because I never go out. I only wear a mask when we have somebody here, usually somebody from the bed company fixing the bed, or somebody from, fixing a refrigerator or something. I'll put a mask on if they're on the same floor as me. And even I have had the mask on, and the guy's been gone a half hour, and Mama Praise like, why are you still wearing a mask? And I'm like, oh, I forgot. I forgot it was there.
I wear a mask 9 hours a day at work, pretty much.
My mom is on hospice, and my brother is on whatever the state Medicare plan is, right? And so when they're nurses or they're doctors or something, chaplain, whatever the case may be, comes by the house, it's like they wear their mask because they're required to. I'm sure that it's because they're required to. But none of us in the house wear it. It's like, okay, you're coming to our house. Okay. You're wearing a mask, so that's good enough for me.
I think that's totally. I think unless they ask you to, I think you're in your house. You set those rules.
And I mean, it's not like my mom and my brother and myself are not smoking ourselves out of the garage every single day or anything, when the weather gets cold, we close the garage door and I look around and I go, holy cow, is it cloudy in here? I mean, we smoke a lot.
It's like the 80s.
It is like the 80s, yes.
I remember that. It was so great. Being able to
The
smoke
irony is the
cigarettes and
garage
drink
is my
coffee.
bedroom. It's the worst part.
Oh.
I remember being a kid on an airplane, and we would get the smoking section because Mama Pray would smoke, and I don't know, I lived through it. I
Yeah.
did it.
I know. It's
I
no
don't
big
remember
deal to
having a
me.
problem. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember my mother doing my hair in the morning, braiding my hair and having a lit cigarette in an ashtray right next to my face as she was standing next to it. And, it was not, I noticed it because it was so much fun to watch how long the ash could get. It was,
Yeah.
like
I love that part.
I did that too.
Oh my goodness. Wow. We are really going back in time now.
Yeah.
I started smoking when I got back from Bosnia, so that was 99. And it was still legal to smoke inside restaurants and bars and things like that in Texas in 99. So I got used to smoking inside of bars and restaurants and everything else. And then I moved to California to take care of my dad while he was dying. And I could not
They were
smoke.
first in the nation, I think, to ban it, weren't they?
I could not smoke anywhere. I mean, I literally could not smoke. And I worked at the airport. Like, I had to drive off the airport property to smoke and then come back. Like, absolutely ridiculous restrictions on where you could or could not smoke at LAX. It was just absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. And then I joined the Army again right after September 11th. And so we went to Colorado, and you could smoke in some restaurants and some bars in Colorado for about a year, and then they ended that completely. You could not smoke in any bars or restaurants anywhere ever. And
I'm sorry. Just let me break in for a quick second. Captain Track says he doesn't want to be doing the stream. So let's take a few minutes and wrap up our thoughts. And
okay.
if he wants to close it down, we don't want to force Captain Track to stream if he doesn't want to.
Absolutely.
No worries.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So, Mr. CCDV, I guess, can please finish your thoughts.
Well, yeah. Smoking is awesome. Everybody should smoke.
Wow.
I quit smoking in 2001 and then started again last year. How about that? Yeah. I have to stop that shit.
See?
It's terrible. Okay, I'm gonna not talk about it. I'm having a stream later today, I believe. So my kid and I, since we suddenly don't know what the hell we're doing, and we're in Michigan, are going to try and do a stream where Fifi tries to teach me how to be a Minecraft live streamer, which is going to be hilarious.
Can we
'cause
change the
I'm
subject now?
terrible.
Yeah, can we change the subject now?
Let Andrea finish speaking.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh.
So that's what I'm just saying. What my stream is going to be, and because I think we're wrapping this up, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
we are.
So
Jedi Bill,
yeah.
sorry about that.
Yeah. So watch this space. I'll send out a link.
Okay. Jedi Bill, welcome.
yes.
Were you
Hello.
wearing something sparkly?
Well, I was just trying to, change the mood and change the subject.
Very sparkly and very
Wait, I didn't see it. Where is it?
Yeah, there. I gotta back up a little bit.
Yay!
Very,
Oh,
very
yay!
sparkly and very vampire-ish.
Captain, if you're there, could you bigify
Very nice,
him?
Bill.
Don't bigify me.
Yes, bigify him.
I don't have
Yes.
a whole lot of room in this room.
Oh, it's beautiful. It looks like a birthday cake.
Full screen him, Cap.
Don't.
Full screen him.
Don't.
Okay, you might not be there. I'll just have to enlarge it later. Enlarge
Honestly,
and enhance.
if Captain Trek wants to end this stream, I will do a live stream right now, and I'll go live, and we can continue the conversation on my channel if you guys want to.
I don't think I'll listen to you guys, but I think I have to I have to check out. I don't know what I'm gonna do next yet.
Okay,
So don't count
no
on me,
worries.
but I may.
Well, don't say I tried.
You tried, Jedi.
Oh, you did a beautiful job. Well done.
Professor
Excellent sparkly vampire-ness.
Professor Brainy Specs, is there anything you'd like to say?
Well, first, I've never smoked, but I guess I'm going to have to go out and buy some cigarettes now.
It's time.
Thank you.
It's time.
Everybody should smoke.
Don't start smoking in New York. I'll tell you that much. It's way too expensive.
It's way too expensive anywhere, pretty much.
It's too expensive anywhere, absolutely.
And I can't afford to do that anyway. And
I've
I
been
like
smoking for 3 people for the last 4 months, and I'm broke. It was
Mr.
nice when I
Lundell
was only
says,
smoking
Bill, you
for
are
myself.
insane.
It was nice when I was only smoking for myself. Now that I'm smoking for 3 people, it's damn near breaking my bank, you know?
Okay. Captain Track says, I don't feel welcome on my own stream.
Oh
Effing
no!
stream. New permanent rule, no COVID talk. The topic is off limits forever.
Okay.
Fair enough.
So it shall be.
You are the captain.
I accept your terms and conditions, Captain Trek.
Aye, Captain.
If you're
Yeah.
willing to take over your own stream again, please come on up, and I will not talk about that vid ever again.
I don't know what you're
Yeah.
talking
So
about.
are we wrapping
I-
up or?
I was getting ready to wrap up because I assumed
well,
Captain said he didn't want to
okay.
stream.
I
And if he
thought
wants
we
to
were
come back
wrapping
up,
up
that's
too, but-
fine.
We can talk
I
about
just wanted
Black
to say-
Superman.
Well,
Who
I
wants to
hadn't
talk
finished
about
yet,
Black
Bird.
Superman?
Oh, you didn't finish yet. I'm sorry, Professor.
That's okay.
Sorry,
Number 2,
Professor, sorry.
you got a stream coming up later, don't you, Bird?
Yes, I do. Today, probably around 3 p.m. We have the last of the direct-to-DVD Futurama movies to watch, whose name I've forgotten at the moment, but we'll be watching that at
So that's-
our cinema Saturday on Sunday around 3 p.m. Eastern.
Very good. I plan to be there.
Very cool.
And number 3, I've got a stream coming up tomorrow with Rambling Canuck on History with R&R. We're going to have a live stream at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central live stream. So come to that. We got a good topic to discuss, I believe. So we hope to see you
Tomorrow,
there.
as in Monday, or
What is
Monday.
tomorrow as in Tuesday?
What's the
No,
topic?
Monday.
Monday.
Tomorrow is Monday, unless you're
Yes.
in
Yeah.
Australia.
Or you've been up
Well,
all
okay.
night
I
singing
thought the
karaoke.
Okay. I'm sorry,
I
but
thought the
can
live streams are on Tuesday. I
we need
apologize.
to. Yeah. Well, they changed it. They changed it to Mondays.
Yes, they got switched for the last live stream, and we were going to do it at 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern, but Rambling has trouble getting going in the morning. So he asked me, well, can we do it in the early afternoon on Monday? And I said, yeah, that'll work for me.
Cool.
Okay. So we
Excellent.
got a new time for History
would
with
like
R&R.
to know, if you don't mind, Bird. I would like to know what Latino Slant's practical question is.
I don't think we have time. He can do it on your stream,
Agreed.
Mr. CCTV. I would just like to say, oh, Jedi Bill, is there anything you'd like to say before we go? Okay. Thank you, Jedi Bill, for coming
Jedi
on.
Bill's a Muppet now.
I'd like to say I do appreciate that we can when we can talk about issues like this. I understand it's very difficult to change somebody's mind, if not impossible. But I do appreciate getting insight as to how others think. And I am sorry if I said something to anybody that they feel was personal. Nothing was. Nothing was intended to be a personal attack. And most of all, I wish Joseph Petrick's mom a very speedy and quick recovery. I can't imagine, Joseph, and I know you're probably not listening, but we all are praying for your mom or sending good vibes or whatever it is we do, because that is so upsetting and, to be honest, frightening, because I feel like if she can get it, any of us can, and yeah, it's scary. But with that, guys, thank you all so much for coming to Captain Trek stream. It was one for the history books, and we will go forward, no longer talking about COVID. And I hope everybody knows whatever was said here today was not personal. So please, take if I don't think an apology is needed, but if it would do, if you feel better, then I offer it. Kaplow.
Yep.
Panel out.
I
Thank you,
agree.
Law.
Apologies if necessary, and I will see you later on, Captain Trek. And
Thank you
you're
for having
welcome
the
to my
stream, Cap.
stream. I put the stream link in there, so everybody can transfer over there, and we can continue talking about gibberish.
I think I might sleep.
I'm gonna go live right now, so we'll see what happens. I may talk about pain for a long time. Actually, you know what? I should retitle it Pain Stream. Oh, I just went live.
You can still retitle it after you went live.
Oh, I
Yeah.
can?
You've got to go to
Okay.
YouTube Studio and edit it there, but you can do it.
Oh, and he left.
Yeah.
Okay. Captain, you can end the stream if you want to. I hesitate to leave until the stream's closed.
I have such incredible. My esteem and regard for all of you has changed not one tiny bit. In fact, it's greater.
Aw, thank you.
For even getting to have real interactions with people. You know?
Yeah, it's
And
not
Bird,
often people can disagree so vehemently and still keep talking like this. I'm sorry,
That-
Professor.
You're very eloquent in handling the stream. Thank you for doing that.
Yes, thank you, Bert.
You guys are welcome. Obviously, I did it for Captain and ourselves mostly.
And there's Cap.
Well, welcome
You are
back,
all
Captain.
welcome to go over to CCTV's stream. I'm done. I'm done. Fuck YouTube.